what really is the free man on the land movement? These movements that are all over the place. There's various sites you can go to. Um, this is not a direct attack. If I want to do that, I just do it. I'm not worried about it in a sense because sue me all you want. You'll never see me in a court of law. So you'd be just suing a fiction. You can take that up with the state. But as far as what is a free man on the land advocate, well, they advocate what is defined in Black's Law Fourth as constitutional psychopathic inferiority. Again, I say this is Black's Law Fourth defines it as constitutional psychopathic inferiority, which is individuals who show a lifelong and constitutional tendency not to conform to the customs of the group, and who habitually misbehave and have no sense of responsibility to their fellow or to society as a whole. These individuals fail to learn by experience and are inadequate, incompatible, and inefficient. And I would agree by that because they are part of the Constitution of the legal. They're on the dole, and at the same time, they protest. And they want special treatment and accommodation while they operate legal, and they try to claim that they're somehow ministers or God's people, but they're not. They're legal. And they're unequally yoked with unbelievers. Whether they know this or not, that's up to them to go through the Berean research of the scriptures to find out why they're experiencing what they're experiencing. But these people believe that when they're being arrested and what they believe martyred within the legal system, they believe that this is because they're being persecuted for the name of God and his son. But that's not the case. They're being martyred or basically persecuted because they're legal dummies. They're stupid. And they don't realize that they're constituting themselves as a friend of the world. Now, I don't read too much from multiple translations when I'm doing these videos, but I'm going to read you the King James under James 4, which talks about the friendship with the world. And it says, ye adulterers, which the minute you enter as a participant in the public, you're noted as an adult. And that's a taxpayer, because you're not a taxpayer until you reach adulthood. And adulterers bring in third parties into their covenant. And therefore, anybody who enters their original covenant with God in with the state have become an adulterer. So James 4 fittingly said, ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore will be a friend of the world is an enemy of God. Now, there are other versions, and legal versions uniquely, that have been sanitized off the net once it became more visible. I'll call it the New World Order translation, because they have very interesting scriptural reference that didn't seem to be a problem until they decided to revise it. And I know it may have had something to do with some videos I had where I quoted out of their Bible. But the New World Order or New World Translation stated in James 4, verse 4, adulteresses, do you not know that the friendship of the world is enmity with God? Where was the enmity originally? Well, I will put enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. Notingly here, the legalists, the lawyers of this particular group that translated this Bible, that do not give you any at all concordance reference to how they obtain the words they put there, but they're putting it into the modern scene as we see it. And therefore, God put enmity between the seed of the woman and the seed of the serpent. So, unlike the King James Bible, it said, ye adulterers and adulteresses, in a male and female form, they put, ye adulteresses, do you not know, that's the seed of the woman, that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Whosoever therefore wants to be a friend of the world is what? Constituting himself an enemy of God. So they all know about the Constitution. And therefore, the Constitution of legal is debt. And therefore, if you are trying to mirror to be in control under what we call these democratic nations who share the original power of the kings, the emperors, the queens they once had, and now are acting in a de facto against that de jure position, they now believe that they share this, and they are literally, at this point, constituting themselves as a debtor of the very debtor that they placed in there as a corruptible man or woman, as a king or an emperor or a queen. And now they're collectively taking it, as did the Pharisees when they said the blood will be on us and our children. And so this democratic movement of collective debt has moved across the population. So it's no longer going to be pinned on the king or the queen. It's actually moved its way more prophetically upon the people who are collectively energizing this debtor system opposite to free grace. So we want to read the scriptures properly, but this free man on the land movement is a virus of complete falsehood. It's not a virus of truth. They're not martyring themselves for good. These are selfish individuals who make use of people who basically don't know any better, and many times are emotionally being affected into using their format of basically legal filings. You can talk or to the people that have been affected by this, and one of them has been the Meads and Meads case, of which I know directly what happened there because I talked to this individual and was aware of what was going on and who had got him in trouble and basically placed him in that jeopardy. He was not aware of anything that was going on at the time, and it's very sad. And he was basically, without even a moment to actually speak to anybody regarding what had happened, he was used as this kind of poster legal child of the free man of the land movement, but he was not versed in it at all. The individual got him into trouble, was actually at this for many years, charging people money in order to get them into further trouble. And so the disentanglement happened through that. And all I can tell you right now is that there was no basis of anything he filed in there. And they were right, and they went further. And the other people they mentioned in it, I'm fully aware of these individuals. I call them legal entities because they haven't woken up to truth. And then they play that 1 minute they're spiritual, and the next minute they're legalistic when it comes to getting the benefits and privileges while they're on the dole. So be aware of these individuals. They promise you freedom, according to Peter, but they themselves live in error.